Thank you very much, Professor Lange. This analysis of this transition between top-down approaches to more bottom-up, grassroots emerging movements. It's probably the best theoretical background against which to measure some of the experiences that we're going to present to you this afternoon. And I also think that it's always good to look abroad, not just because abroad means necessarily better, but because it brings a different perspective to the table that we can learn from and exchange with. And the first speaker of this afternoon is Ms. Chris Mueller. He is many things and he's done many things in his life, but this afternoon I believe he will share with us this amazing experience of the Tabakfabrik in Linz. So please, Mr. Mueller.
So, good evening, everyone. You know, in their different ways, children, artists, explorers, and seafarers, as well as even Jonathan Harker, the real estate agent of Bram Stoker's famous novel Dracula, have one thing in common. They go on unforgettable journeys, imaginary and real, exciting us with their depictions and their tales of adventure while arousing our own pioneering spirit. And mankind's most historic voyages headed for new shores where no one had ever gone before, to the depths of the human souls or to the deep space of the universe, to faraway lands or nearby strands, to real spaces or fictional places. And we recognize ourselves in the other, and we discover the essence of the Tabakfabrik Linz, a former tobacco factory, when we follow its path of evolution and when we understand how the factory is embedded in the city and in the country or in the state surrounding it. And I'd like us to go on a journey, on this journey of 20 minutes together. We cross the Alps like Hannibal once did, but in the opposite direction, and instead of seeking of power and war, we are looking for creativity. And we shall be traveling the 666-kilometer long journey from Modena to Linz in a beautiful car like this, or this one, while we're listening to one of the greatest voices we ever heard. And along our way to the capital of Upper Austria, we pass by my home region of Hausruck. It's an area of land dominated by the brown coal industry for more than 200 years. An industry that not only shaped the landscape, but also my family and myself. And whereas my ancestors dug for coal, I'm digging for the raw materials that are essential for the progress of our society. The treasures such as the new discoveries, the innovations, the talents, the original thinking which determine the nature of contemporary and future creativity. And the province of Upper Austria is referred to as the industrial heart of Austria with good reason. We already became aware of the significance of labor 70 kilometers before our destination. In Austria, we have a young tradition to celebrate the birthday of friends by making a witty sculpture of them, hinting at darker aspects of their character. And sometimes more, and sometimes less expressive, these voodoo dolls can be seen along the roadsides, entertaining travelers and passers-by. Now we arrived in Linz, and at night, Linz reveals its radiant character and its polycentric design. The city, an urban organism spreading along the river in space and time, a melting pot of high-tech industry, future-orientated culture, as well as some dark pages in the book of history marked by its association with the Third Reich and National Socialism. You need to know that Adolf Hitler had a strong emotional bond with Linz. In Linz, he went to school with the Jewish philosopher Ludwig Wittgenstein. In Linz, he planned to spend his retirement. In Linz, he came into touch with the Wagner operas. In Linz, his mother died. And it was the people of Linz who welcomed him at the time of the annexation of Nazi Germany in 1938. And furthermore, we should not forget that the infamous concentration camp of Mauthausen where more than 100,000 people were murdered, is very close to Linz. More than 200,000 prisoners were tortured in this death camp, a figure that equates closely with the current population of Linz and Modena. And this photo was taken in the Memorial Center of Mauthausen. It is displaying the so-called Room of Names created by AG Marie, an art collective which is a tenant of us. But thankfully, present day, Linz has the reputation of being an open-minded, progressive city, which is providing more jobs than their inhabitants. It is a city subject to constant change and development, having undergone a fundamental transformation from Hitler's so-called Führerstadt to a city of peace. And Linz was chosen as the European Capital of Culture in the year 2009 and was awarded the title UNESCO City of Media Arts in December 2013. And for a long time, Linz had the reputation of a smog-filled steel city as a result of its largest employer, the voestalpine Steelworks. However, thanks to improved environmental protection and numerous cultural initiatives, for example, the Linzer Klangwolke, the Brucknerfest, the Crossing Europe Film Festival, as well as the Ars Electronica Festival, the city gained a new image. And Linz has managed to successfully position itself as a thriving cultural metropolis, despite its industrial background and its rural surrounds, and both of which are still visible. So, searching for the right side. And Linz is spreading eastwards in the direction of the harbor, of the industrial harbor, at the same time as providing urban geography. The Tabakfabrik is only 10 minutes walk away from the main square, and it's forming a new crucial point for the development of Linz. And here it is, this great factory, where once 8,000 cigarettes a minute were churned out, now creates sparks to light up minds. And at present, the shut-down tobacco plant of Austria Tabak, once a tobacco monopoly, is emerging as an urban center for the cultural and creative industries. In its redesign, the revitalized industrial building, hub for contemporary technologies and creative industries, cannot be defined as a conventional museum or entertainment venue. It should be seen, rather, as a workbench, a stage, a laboratory, a rehearsal room, a collaborative concern, a fabricating quarter, and ultimately a meeting and development place. And this landmarked industrial plant, designed by Peter Behrens, is not only seen as a promising opportunity for the town planning, it also serves as a protection screen for the cultural and economical future of Linz. As the first Austrian steel frame construction in the new objectivity style, the building is of international significance in architectural history. And Behrens, known as the inventor of corporate design, created a total work of art in terms of radical functionalism. A usable roofed area of 80,000 square meters. And with a passion for detail, the architect designed the buildings and the furnishings from coffee mugs through chairs to color blends. And he considered the human being as his centerpiece, a concept that is strongly applied to the current development of Linz tobacco factory in terms of social design. And the history of the Tabakfabrik Linz has been a turbulent one. For more than 340 years, it was regarded as a production site, initially for textiles, later for tobacco goods. Established in 1850 as an emergency measure to make use of the bankrupt cloth factory, the Tabakfabrik Linz became a symbol of recovery through transformation. And today's area was built in stages during the Great Depression. In 2001, during a period of privatization, the enterprise was bought by the British ller Group. They later sold it to Japan Tobacco International. And the Japanese owner decided to close down business. And this could have been because of the stringent conditions of the Federal Monument Conservation Department, since most of the buildings was listed in 1980s. In 2009, the city of Linz bought the Abanadan tobacco plant for 17 million euros. And a basic strategy, and our basic strategy, intermediate use is our basic strategy in the course of developing and revitalizing the factory in the short as well as in the long term. Temporary flexible usage of untapped areas is important for sustainable and demand-oriented site design, particularly due to the size of the project. Through experiment and exploration, intermediate use facilitates early and field-tested quality management, making clear the potential of the different buildings and shows it to everyone. Such activity will stimulate urban life and generate innovation. Intermediate use enhances public perception and, as a result, validates the site in their eyes. And not least, it represents an important financial backup for the owner. And at this time, the Tabakfabrik requires public money primarily for maintenance, renovation, and the adaptation of the landmark basic structure, as well as its development with regard to content. And the ongoing business operations in the event sector, plus the leased areas, generate profit already. For the maintenance of the emerging areas and the conceptual development work, the corporation receives a subsidy from the city of Linz. The town council confirms its maximum amount every year. And reverse, the Tabakfabrik pays rent to the city of Linz. At present, the Tabakfabrik is evolving into a vibrant urban district. Since the complete renovation of building number 2, more than 300 people are working on site. Right now, more people are producing than at the time of the close down in 2009. And the conclusions of a profound scientific study on the reuse of the plant by the Johannes Kepler University under the direction of Robert Bauer, the corporate planning of the former Austria tobacco plants, the advice of the international submissions for Europan, Europe's largest competition for architect and urbanism, as well as our own intense research concerning current trends and tendencies. And all of those insights have been reviewed and proved in our breathless phase of intermediate use. And from these results, we have developed a master plan for the new use of the factory. For the realization of this project, we looked for a daredevil who is able to meet the challenge. To achieve our visions, we would need a seismograph with a sense of innovative potential, with the ability to transform these visions into form, function, and emotional symbolic power. An architect who regards it as his most exclusive duty to finally complete the Tower of Babel. An architect who never allows any authority to stifle or even punish creativity. And we have found the right person with the perfect office, and together we create an outrageous project named Moby Dick. And by the end of this year, after the elections, the white whale will surface in the front of the public. So I can't show you. But in the beginning, let us always ask, what kind of progress do we want? Thank you.